Welcome to another deep dive. We're tackling leadership today with the book, The 100X Leader. This one's not just about reaching your own potential. It's about becoming a Sherpa, you know, guiding others to reach theirs. Imagine conquering Everest, not just planting your flag, but helping a whole team get there.
That Everest metaphor is powerful. It really is. Instantly makes you think of resilience expertise. And of course, that essential bond between the climber and their guide. This book really digs deep into that supportive, but also challenging relationship to achieve what seems impossible.
This book, it really sets the scene, describing the leadership landscape today as this treacherous, ever-shifting terrain.
I was struck by those questions at the beginning, like almost checking your gear before the climb, asking things like, what terrifies you about losing? Or what would others conclude drives you? Why start there with that deep self-analysis?
Well, it compels you to look inward, right? Understand anxieties, motivations, before even thinking about leading anyone. It's like a mirror, you know? Does my impact actually match my intentions? And that sets the stage for this self-awareness journey, vital for any aspiring leader. I love the story of John Beede. He's an experienced climber who summited Everest. The book describes the intense prep, physical, mental, emotional. It's clearly not just about being strong physically.
Oh, absolutely. Bede talks about emotional fortitude teamwork, and that skilled Sherpa, not just a climbing expert, but a source of calm when things get tough, perfectly illustrates that 100x leader, someone who conquers their own summit, but guides others as well.
Which is where the book's support challenge matrix comes in, I think. It helps assess leadership styles and tendencies, reveals whether we tend to dominate, abdicate, protect, or liberate.
Exactly. It's like a compass showing where we naturally lean and how that affects our team. For those listening, think of it this way. Does this matrix pinpoint if you tend to micromanage, avoid decisions, shield your team, or truly empower them? Knowing this is the first step toward better leadership.
The book has these captivating real-world examples of leaders embodying each style. Dan Oberski, the real estate developer, initially had that dominating style, driven but left exhaustion and resentment behind.
His story's great. It shows that profound transformation possible. When leaders become aware and shift to a more liberating approach, it's about realizing true leadership isn't power, it's empowering others.
So self-awareness is the foundation here. The book has this know yourself to lead yourself tool, but it's more than just recognizing your tendencies.
Right, absolutely. It's about uncovering the patterns, the actions that stem from them. It's like tracing a river back to its source, how behaviors flow from your core self. And a key part is recognizing how our actions affect others. That's where the book talks about the liberator's intent, calling people up to their potential, not out for their shortcomings.
So give me an example. How would you apply that, say, giving feedback to a team member?
Well, think about framing feedback to help someone develop their skills instead of just pointing out flaws. See how that changes things. Encouraging growth, not fear.
That shift in language is powerful. And then the book introduces the 5 circles of influence: self, family, team, organization, community. It stresses our leadership plays out differently within each circle, like adapting your climbing technique based on the terrain.
It is fascinating how it highlights the interconnectedness of it all. How our tendencies impact each domain. Someone who dominates at work might unknowingly bring that same style home, causing tension in their family.
It's about adapting based on the needs of each circle. But ultimately, becoming a 100x leader, it's more than personal wins. It's about multiplication, intentionally sharing knowledge, skills, expertise, like a Sherpa, equipping climbers with the tools and wisdom.
Right. And the book explores 4 methods informing training. Coaching apprenticeship provides real-world examples of leaders excelling at each phase, highlighting choosing the right one for the situation.
It's like a Sherpa choosing the appropriate gear and technique.
Right.
Sometimes it's about giving clear instructions, sometimes hands-on training, sometimes ongoing mentorship. But what about roadblocks? Fear is holding leaders back from truly sharing.
Absolutely. The book confronts those anxieties head on. It acknowledges the vulnerability in being a mentor or guide, encourages embracing that long-term investment because the rewards, they outweigh the initial unease.
It's shifting from hoarding knowledge to freely sharing it. So it's not just individuals, it's about cultivating a culture of growth within the whole organization.
Think of it as cultivating a thriving ecosystem, a greenhouse, where leadership flourishes at every level. And just like a garden, organizational culture needs nurturing, shaped by its leaders' values, beliefs, behaviors reflected in their language, decisions, interactions. You can't delegate culture, you have to actively shape it, nurture it.
That starts with a common language, I guess. A shared understanding of what the organization stands for, its goals, how to achieve them. It's like having clear guidelines for a mountain range, making sure everyone's on the same page, working towards that unified objective.
The book cautions against inconsistent language, different leaders, using different terms definitions. It leads to confusion, misalignment. It's using multiple maps of the same mountain range, each with different landmarks, paths, wasted effort.
And that's where the Leaders Define Culture tool comes in, I think provides a framework for creating a clear and consistent vocabulary. Everyone speaks the same language, operates from the same values expectations.
Exactly. Cultivating a shared understanding of what defines success. Behaviors that are valued, how decisions are made. Establishing a clear feedback loop. Leaders, team members communicate openly, address issues, work together, create a more positive, productive atmosphere.
That environment, it needs to be both supportive and challenging. Foster a culture where people feel safe, taking risks, making mistakes, growing, but also being held accountable, pushed to reach their full potential.
The book compares it to a greenhouse, where the leader is the gardener, carefully managing the conditions for optimal growth. But even in a well-maintained greenhouse, there can be microclimates, those pockets of variation that can either support or hinder growth.
And those microclimates are like subcultures within organizations, teams, departments. They develop their own unique ways of working, communicating, interacting.
That's a good way to put it, just like a greenhouse. An organization has to be aware of and manage those subcultures. Are they aligned with the overall values and goals? Do they promote growth and empowerment? Or are they toxic, divisive?
It's like a gardener realizing certain plants thrive in different conditions, understanding those individual needs, adjusting your approach accordingly.
The book offers tools for assessing subculture health, identifying those that are flourishing, and those that need attention. It emphasizes addressing issues at the subculture level, because a healthy organization is built on healthy and aligned subcultures.
It's like a gardener understanding that a single disease plant can infect the whole greenhouse if you ignore it. Being proactive, vigilant, creating that culture of accountability, continuous improvement. But beyond the tools and strategies, what defines a truly effective subculture leader? What qualities should we aim to embody as we cultivate those microclimates of growth within our organizations?
Those qualities really come down to self-awareness, empathy, clear communication, a genuine commitment to the well-being of their team. It's about establishing psychological safety. People feel comfortable expressing themselves, sharing ideas, challenging norms. A great leader recognizes that everyone brings something valuable. Their job is to cultivate an environment where those contributions are embraced, appreciated.
It's fostering that sense of shared ownership, responsibility. Each person feels like a part of something bigger, where their individual efforts contribute to the team's success,
Mm,
ultimately, the whole organization.
exactly. The book makes us think, are we building subcultures that are truly liberating, where people feel empowered to grow, reach their full potential, or are we accidentally fostering cultures of fear, conformity, stagnation?
That's a good question, not just for leaders within organizations, but for us as leaders in every aspect of our lives. What makes a 100x leader beyond cultivating these microclimates of growth?
Well, the book talks a lot about the importance of mentors and guides in our development. Advises us to seek out those who can offer both support and constructive criticism, people who can provide a clear perspective, hold us accountable.
Like having a seasoned Sherpa on your personal leadership climb, someone familiar with the terrain who can guide you through the toughest parts.
The book brings up this idea of the credibility gap, that disconnect between what leaders say and what their actions show. You see, credibility is earned through consistent behavior, aligning our words with our deeds.
And when that gap widens, it erodes trust, hampers our ability to lead. It's like a Sherpa promising a safe climb, but not providing the right equipment or guidance. The climbers would start to question their leader's competence commitment.
The book has some really stark examples of leaders losing credibility because of lack of self-awareness, attention to detail, follow-through. It stresses being mindful of our actions. Even small inconsistencies can really impact how trustworthy we seem.
It's like a climber noticing a frayed rope or a chipped ice axe. Those little things can quickly become big problems if they're ignored. So how do we bridge that credibility gap? How do we ensure our actions really match our words and intentions?
The book emphasizes self-reflection feedback, a willingness to adjust course, being open to how our actions are perceived, even if it's tough or uncomfortable, owning up to mistakes, making amends.
Like a Sherpa, checking their equipment, making sure the ropes are secure, ice axes, sharp oxygen tanks full, taking responsibility for their safety, and the safety of those they're guiding.
Becoming a 100x leader, it's an ongoing thing. There's no finish line, no point where we can say we've learned it all and stopped growing. It's constant self-discovery, adaptation, refinement.
Like traversing a mountain range with many peaks, Each summit offers an amazing view, but there's always another one to conquer, another challenge.
The 100X leader embraces those challenges and inspires others to do the same. They're not content with reaching the summit alone. They want to share the experience, the accomplishment, the fulfillment with everyone they lead.
As we wrap up this deep dive into the 100X leader, I'm curious, what resonated with you most? What insights or challenges will you take away from this?
This book, it's full of wisdom, practical tools. But for me, it comes down to this. Leadership is about serving others. It's about recognizing that our purpose is to empower, to help people reach their full potential, to make a positive impact beyond ourselves.
It's about embracing that Sherpa challenge, to step up, to lead with integrity and compassion, to guide others to achieve heights they never thought possible.
Remember, every journey starts with a single step. What one small action can you take today to become a more effective, a more liberating leader in your own life and the lives of those around you?
That's the question we leave you with. Embrace the challenge, and let's climb together. If you'd like a summary of the key takeaways, we've got a 10-point summary for you at the end of this deep dive. We'll see you at the next summit.
Here are 10 key points from today's exploration of the 100X leader.
Number 1. Today's leadership landscape. It's constantly changing, requires adaptable approaches, and a willingness to embrace challenges.
Number 2, emotional resilience and strong teamwork. They're just as essential as physical strength in achieving great things. Think of those Mount Everest climbers.
Number 3. A 100X leader not only achieves personal success, but also guides and empowers others to achieve theirs, embodying the qualities of a Sherpa.
Number 4, the support challenge matrix. It helps us pinpoint our leadership styles and tendencies, shows if we tend to dominate, abdicate, protect, or liberate those we lead.
Number 5. Self-awareness is critical for growth as a leader. Tools like Know Yourself to Lead Yourself help us grasp our tendencies and their impact.
Number 6, the liberator's intent. It encourages us to call people up to their potential, not out for their shortcomings. It fosters a more supportive and empowering environment.
Number 7. The 5 circles of influence. Self, family, team, organization, community. They show how our leadership styles play out differently in various parts of life. Adaptability is key.
Number 8, multiplication. It's about intentionally transferring our knowledge and expertise to others. Ensures a lasting legacy, helps others reach their full potential.
Number 9. Cultivating a healthy organizational culture. It's about shared language, clear expectations, a balance of support and challenge, creating an environment where everyone can thrive.
And finally, number 10, the Sherpa challenge. It pushes us to prioritize integrity, self-awareness, a commitment to empowering others, leading to a positive and lasting impact on those around us. It boils down to self-awareness, empathy, clear communication, a genuine commitment to their team's well-being. It's about establishing psychological safety. Individuals feel comfortable expressing themselves, sharing ideas, challenging norms. A great leader, they recognize everyone brings something valuable, and it's their responsibility to cultivate that environment where contributions are embraced and appreciated.
It's about fostering that sense of shared ownership responsibility, where each person feels like part of something bigger. Their individual efforts contribute to the team's success, and ultimately the entire organization.
You got it. The book really encourages us to examine this. Are we building subcultures that are truly liberating, where people feel empowered to grow and achieve their potential? Or are we accidentally creating cultures of fear, conformity, and stagnation?
It's an important question, not just for leaders and organizations, but for us in every part of life. What makes a 100X leader beyond cultivating these microclimates of growth?
Well, the book emphasizes the importance of mentors and guides in our development. It suggests finding those who offer support and constructive criticism, those who can provide a clear perspective, hold us accountable.
It's like having an experienced Sherpa for your leadership journey, someone who knows the terrain and guides you through the difficult parts.
The book talks about this credibility gap, the disconnect between a leader's words and actions. You see, credibility, it comes from consistent behavior, aligning our words and deeds.
And when that gap widens, it erodes trust, makes it harder to lead effectively. It's like a Sherpa promising a safe climb, but then failing to provide the necessary equipment or guidance. The climbers would naturally question their leader's competence and commitment.
The book provides some pretty stark examples of leaders who lost credibility due to a lack of self-awareness, attention to detail, or follow-through. It really highlights the importance of being mindful of our actions. Even small inconsistencies can have a big impact on how trustworthy we appear.
It's like a climber noticing a frayed rope or chipped ice axe. These small details can quickly escalate into major issues if ignored. So how do we bridge that credibility gap? Ensure our actions align with our words and intentions.
The book emphasizes self-reflection feedback, a willingness to adapt. Be open to how our actions are perceived, even if it's uncomfortable. Own up to mistakes. Make amends.
Like a Sherpa who diligently checks their equipment.
Right. Ropes secure. Ice axes are sharp. Oxygen tanks full. They're taking responsibility for their safety and the safety of those they guide.
Becoming a 100x leader, it's a continuous journey. It never really ends. There's no point where we've learned everything and stopped growing. It's constant self-discovery, adaptation, refinement.
Like navigating a mountain range with numerous peaks. Each summit offers a fantastic view, but there's always another one to conquer, another challenge. And the 100x leader, they embrace those challenges and inspire others to do the same. They aren't satisfied with solo achievements. They want to share that experience, the accomplishment, the fulfillment with everyone they lead.
So as we conclude this deep dive into the 100x leader, I'm wondering, what stood out to you? What insights or challenges will you take away from this exploration?
It's a book filled with wisdom and practical advice, but I think it boils down to this. Leadership is about serving others. Recognizing our purpose is to empower, help individuals reach their full potential, create a lasting positive impact.
It's about taking on that Sherpa challenge, stepping up, leading with integrity and compassion, guiding others to reach heights they never thought possible.
Remember, every journey begins with a single step. What small action can you take today to become a more effective, more liberating leader in your own life and in the lives of those around you?
That's what we'll leave you with. Embrace the challenge, and let's climb together. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the 100x leader. We'll see you at the next summit.